What's up, guys? Johnny Chase here, and welcome back to the club, where I'm still in that Evo mood. I've been playing fighting games over the last couple weeks, mainly because of all the announcements. So over Evo weekend, a bunch of the game devs got together on stage and announced some of the upcoming projects. More specifically, a few of the companies are adding Rollback netcode into their older games, or are giving you a new version of the game with Rollback. So one of the big companies that's doing this is Bandai Namco. So they're going back and adding in Rollback netcode into Samurai Showdown. And they unfortunately can't put Rollback into Dragon Ball FighterZ, but they are actually going to give a updated version of Dragon Ball FighterZ for current gen consoles. So we're going to have a Series S and X version, PS5, and they're going to implement Rollback netcode into that. So after all those announcements, it kind of got me wondering, is delay really all that bad comparative to Rollback? You hear people in the FGC and FGC content creators talk about it all the time. Rollback is the key. You know, Rollback is the key to everything. It's like Jar Jar in episode 1. You know, Rollback is the key. So I figured I would take a couple weeks off making videos and on stream, you know, playing various games online that I own that have delay and Rollback netcode, just to see if someone that's casual, doesn't normally play all these games a lot, can spot the difference and kind of give you my feedback. So I'm going to do a little bit of a nerd segment. I'm just going to give you guys some stats for the equipment and, you know, how my setup is, if that matters. I know there's the Wi-Fi versus direct connection. Everything is direct connected. My internet provider provides me with 1 gigabit per second download speed, and on average about 30 to 40 megabits per second upload, which is more than enough to play these games online. So for both my PS4 and for my Series X, everything's hardwired in. Now, of course, one of the key things with a lot of these games is trying to find someone to play. Even in newer games, it's kind of hard. There will be some times when I'm opening up like the latest Capcom fighting collection, and I just can't find anyone. Apparently, with sales numbers, everything went to the PC and PS4 version. The Series, Xbox Series versions of the game, and I think in some aspects the Switch version. Not a whole lot of people are playing this online. It's mostly on PS4, PS5, and PC. And of course, with a lot of older games, I wasn't able to get any footage for either because wait times, nobody's playing it. But there was a few that I really wanted to try out online, but again, the player base isn't there. I ain't gonna be matching up with anyone. So one of the key things, like if you don't know a whole lot of the terminology of rollback and delay, there's a great video out. I'm gonna put the link in the description below. Give this video a watch. It breaks it down into such layman's terms that how well rollback works versus delay-based netcode. So I'm just gonna give you some insight into what we were playing. So I actually did a live stream one night, and I actually had some friends. We were creating lobbies and trying to play ranked. I had a bunch of them on my list, but one of them we just kind of just said fuck it and kept playing, and you'll see in a second. So the first one we tried out was Dragon Ball FighterZ, because that was the one that was big in the news. You know, Bandai Namco's going to put Rollback into the upcoming version of the game. And I say, still an active community. I think actually maybe with Evo happening, they actually boosted the numbers up a little bit. So we created an open lobby, just invited anyone to jump in and play. At first we were getting solid connections, and then the cool thing with Dragon Ball FighterZ is that you can actually see your delay frame numbers down at the bottom. And I think we were getting delays of about like 3 to 5 frames, which wasn't completely terrible. I couldn't gauge where anyone else was playing from. Now I can only gauge from, you know, my friends and colleagues that I share Twitch pages with. I know one is from Pennsylvania, one's from Maine. I think there was someone from Virginia. So it's not that far away from where I'm located. And I was also, I think some local people in my area, because I put a shout out to my local FGC areas that just had a major tournament as well, saying like, hey, I'm doing this video, I'm doing this stream. Does anyone want to jump in on this console, these games, to help test delay and rollback? So we had a couple of matches. There were some pretty intense fights. There was one where the frames started to go up a little bit. So like when you start getting into the double digits, that's when you're going to notice a lot of delay in those games. but still, like, it was still active. We had a great time. We had some really good matches. I am super duper rusty on fighters. I don't think I've touched it in about 2 years since the last, like, probably rounds of DLC came out, but I've seen that, like, I've seen from other videos that, like, the game's completely changed, like tag systems completely changed, so I kind of want to relearn it. But yeah, not too terrible, but I can understand where, you know, a lot of people have issue with the delay-based netcode on that. But luckily, Rollback will be coming out. We'll give it another shot when it comes out, and I am hopeful for the future of that. So next up, we went up to an old favorite of ours, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. So we linked up in a lobby. We had crossplay enabled, so it's crossplay on everything through N-Way. It is Rollback, and it worked butterly smooth. And we actually had like a lot of other players come in into our random lobby to play. It's very smooth, not a whole lot jarring. But yeah, this was the first game we tried the night that had Rollback, and I can definitely tell because there were a few skip frames of animation. But again, you know, if you go back to that Code A gaming video I talked about at the beginning of the video, that's where it's implemented. So, you know, it just, you know, predicts what's going to be coming next, and if it's not, it rolls back to the previous frames and then shows what the actual input was. So yeah, it was a great time. And Power Rangers is something that I, you know, I come back and forth to every now and then. I think their content's done. I really hope not, because there's a lot of, you know, Rangers and Ranger team-ups that are still locked away in that mobile game. I mean, I think there's still a few Street Fighter characters, so if they can talk to Capcom, I would love to get Bison in the game. I think that would be pretty cool. So next we did a delay-based game. So we are big fans of Tekken, so we booted up Tekken 7. I'll be honest, other than a straight period of us just not being able to get into a lobby, when we got into matches, they weren't all that terrible. And the thing was that we had like 2 or 3 other fighting games we're gonna get into. Even if there was delay and we didn't notice it, we were just having a hell of a time playing the game. So we actually just ended the night just rotating through lobbies and playing against each other. So actually, Jimbo told me that you should check out Tekken 7 again, because there was a new update that did some balance changes and actually gave more data during your fights. So the other night I booted it up, I played some ranked matches and saw like the frame data down below. Now they say it's both delay and rollback. I don't know how that works. I don't know how you can have 2 sets of netcodes. Someone that's more techie than me can probably tell me in the comments down below how that works. But I can tell you, when I was playing ranked, I had consistently smooth matches, no delays, no input drops. We were having great matches all night. If it is delay or not rollback or a combination of the two, that netcode's actually not too terrible. So big ups to Bandai Namco for making that. I am excited to see how they implement netcode in Tekken 8. If that image is actually Tekken 8 that they showed at EVO. Now going from one 3D fighter to another, I was checking out SoulCalibur VI. I didn't have a whole lot of experiences playing this. When we basically got it, it was on sale. We played the story mode a little bit. My wife and I played some local matches because she's a big SoulCalibur fan. I never went really delve into a whole lot online, and boy howdy, I'm glad I didn't, because, well, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Look at this footage here. Like, it's, you know, we were stuttering, we were all over the place. There was a lot of drop frames. SoulCalibur VI, from what I've read, is not the smoothest experience online. And it goes to show here, if there was any game that really should get rollback netcode, it's probably SoulCalibur VI. But I mean, the game is older on the front with Bandai Namco. We'll have to wait and see if they make a SoulCalibur 7, and hope to God that they get rollback into that. But going back into rollback, I'm going to Mortal Kombat 11. I've always had consistently good connections with anyone I've played in MK11. I mean, it's fluid. It works into nothing. Nothing is paused. I had, like, in the footage here, I had little to no stutter at all, if at all. Like, I could not tell. But man, we were getting consistent matches, great matches. Playing this in the past, doing lobby systems, it actually works out really well. I really wanted to show you guys also footage of Injustice 2, because Injustice I actually kind of like a lot better than than the Mortal Kombat series. Maybe because I'm a DC guy, so I'm a comic book guy. I like DC. But unfortunately, nobody was playing Injustice 2 for the recordings I was doing. But MK11, good rollback on that, good netcode on that, and I am highly anticipating the next NetherRealm game, whatever it may be. Now, the next one I wanted to talk about was online. Like, here's the thing. When I was researching for this video, I was looking for like, okay, give me a list of games that have delay-based netcode, and give me a list of games that have rollback. I can't find good Google searches for a list of games that have delay-based. It's mostly like, here's the top 10 rollback netcode games. It's like, cool. I'm glad we're talking about this. I still want to know what has delay because, like I said, I'm doing this comparison video. And then I came across Granblue Fantasy, which just dropped this month, September 2022, for PlayStation Plus Essential members. I was like, okay, let's give this a shot, because I got the game, installed it, and I found that article that said, like, hey, Granblue Fantasy is coming up for PlayStation Plus Essential. Can we have rollback, please? So I'm like, okay, a game that's got delay, let's give this a shot. I've never played this because, like, the only Arc System Works game I've played is Dragon Ball FighterZ. I haven't gotten to Guilty Gear or any other fighting game like that. This one I found was really fun. Like, it's got an anime art style, it's got weapons, it looks like a lot of fun, and I was having really good matches. I don't think I had a really bad match. I had to wait a little bit because you have to play at least like 4 or 5 computer controlled matches in order to get your rank. But the matches I had were a lot of fun. Again, this is another system that has delay code. This one's kind of placed like underneath your health bar. Unfortunately, you can't really see the other frame data for the other person. But then again, like, the frame data is the frame data, right? It should be the same for both people. But Granblue Fantasy did not have any problems with that in the short time that I played with it, and it's a good game. I actually want to come back to it. And yeah, Granblue Fantasy, really fun game. I'm gonna actually check it out a little bit more on my channel, so keep an eye on that for either stream or a video here talking more about it. So another one I found on the list of rollback that actually for some reason was delay was the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. Now, I don't know who to believe, because like I said, I looked up on Google that the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection had rollback, but my friend was saying that it was delay. So I'm going to put this in the column of, but with this one here, thankfully there are still people playing this. This is like a 4-year-old collection at this point, but I was still able to find people to match up with. I was able to get into a lobby, and I had some, pretty good matches. No stuttering at all. Like, everything worked great. And man, like the Street Fighter community is still so welcoming in my eyes, because I had so many conversations with the opponents I was playing. Like, I got my ass beat, I said GG. I was gonna say, when I kicked ass, I said GG back too. That never happened. I don't think I won a single match in Street Fighter, but we had one in hyper fighting. And it got so down to the wire that we actually ran out of time, and it was so close. I think he came back to win that round. Like, sweaty matches, but really good matches. So yeah, Street Fighter Anniversary Collection actually runs pretty good with the netcode on that. And for Capcom Fighting Collection, that was one of the ones that they were touting out as having rollback. Now, when I did manage to find matches, those were consistently good as well. Didn't really have any drop frames or stutter or lag. Rollback on Capcom Fighting Collection works really well. Now, the other collection that came out that has rollback got me super excited, and that's the Cowabunga collection. The only rollback that was on there was for tournament fighters, which is, kind of what we're talking about. I will say, though, the netcode for the 2 arcade games, not really the greatest. We had a lot of stuttering, and at one point, the game just outright crashed on us. The adventures of Briar Billy. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh! But when we managed to get in and do some tournament fighters, other than one bad connection when we first started, but then again, we just disconnected, reconnected, and it worked fine after that. Tournament fighters works really well online. The rollback on that is really good. Our fights were great. Now, the only thing I have a problem with is it's only a 2-player lobby. You can't have 4-player or 8-player lobbies. I mean, Konami, I get it. You're not really known for fighting games, but maybe if you could, this is developed by Digital Eclipse. Maybe talk to someone that worked there, that maybe worked with Capcom to figure out how to do at least 4-player lobbies. That way I can get a lobby system going. I can actually have a good stream with something like that. I mean, I don't want to go back to Fightcade for tournament fighters. I love supporting the official releases on stuff. But yeah, tournament fighters worked well. But one of the other ones I tried with delay-based netcode was Virtua Fighter V Ultimate Showdown on PS4. Again, smooth experience. I didn't have any stutter, and surprisingly, there were still people to play because I heard that this game, because of its netcode, kind of slowed down and died. But I was still matching up with people in ranked, and I was still getting good connections. Really, not much to complain about Virtua Fighter V. Like, just runs. This is kind of the downfall I've had with when I decided to make this video after Evo, is that, all right, let me find some, get some footage of delay-based netcode and see how choppy it is versus rollback. I was having good connections, so it's kind of defeating the purpose of the video, but I promise I have a point. Next up for rollback, I tried out Killer Instinct on Xbox. Can you believe this game's almost 10 years old? Oh, my knees just went weak. I'm old. Yeah, KI has rollback. Works okay. There was one match, and I'm going to show the footage here. I am Jago playing against an idol. It slowed down to a crawl. It was, fortunately, that match was almost virtually unplayable. But the other ones I had, pretty rock solid connections. No delays on my end. It just felt like when the idol fight was happening, it was so slow. But then again, it didn't feel like it felt like we were eventually able to catch back up, but still, like, that kind of soured my experience a bit with KI. I'm gonna play some more matches here and there just to see, and maybe that was just a one-off fluke, because I've been working on this video for a while, and unfortunately with my work schedule, I don't have a whole lot of time to devote to videos like this. But yeah, KI with rollback netcode, I was having a little bit of issue, so the dock points on that. But the one I want to come to now is the one that claims to have rollback, but it just doesn't feel right, or maybe it's just baby's first rollback. It was Street Fighter V. We had tried this over on Game Days for Good for a few streams. When spectating, you can see just everything drawing over, so it doesn't make for a good viewing experience if you're trying to host lobbies and show off some great fights. It just, it's going backward. It's desyncing. I mean, it doesn't matter to the two people playing, because it just matters to the people that are watching. But then you get to playing, and man, it's like that netcode is terrible. Like, you're teleporting all over the place. It's hard to read moves. It's just not a good experience. People are saying that it's rollback. I'm like, is it really? And then I remember the stories of people like actually fixing the netcode on the PC version and saying, hey, this code's available, and it's an easy fix for PlayStation 4. You just push it in some type of update like this. And Capcom refused to use it and started banning people that had the mod installed. I mean, here's why we're hoping that, the rollback that they are promising in Street Fighter VI will actually be decent, because it's gonna be the first Street Fighter we're gonna have outside of PlayStation and PC for a very long while, and it's gonna be crossplay. So my hopes are high that Capcom can get this working, and we can have decent online experiences again with Street Fighter. Yeah, those were my experience over the last couple weeks playing fighting games with delay-based and rollback netcode. What did you guys think? Should I delve into this a little bit more? Do you guys have any games that you know of that just truly have like the worst netcode possible, that are still functional, that I can play against people? Because like I said, there was a bunch of games on the list that I really wanted to try out online, but again, player base is just non-existent. I couldn't find anyone to match up with, so I had to move on with the current stuff that's out there. So let me know in the comments below if there's anything I missed. If you guys want to see a part 2 of games, and maybe I'll throw some of the platform brawlers as well, because I want to just strictly stay with 1v1 2D and 3D fighting games, and kind of stay away from the platform brawlers. I mean, we could talk about those in a future video, but let me know. Hit the like button, leave a comment. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm gonna come. I always like to do these types of real talky videos a lot. And if you guys enjoy them, obviously, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel for more. And until then, I'm Johnny Chase, and I don't have an closing phrase. How do I YouTube?